So we're going to talk about fatigue and pacing. So what is fatigue? So it's classed as extreme tiredness resulting from mental or physical exertional illness. So often expressed as tiredness, weariness, exhaustion, overtiredness, drowsiness, lethargy, sluggishness, debilitating, lack of energy and lack of vitality. It's a really big part of fibromyalgia. So patients often say that they get this fogginess, that they can't concentrate, they can't move through the day, they don't really know what they're doing. So some of the symptoms that are associated with fatigue, and Hannah's mentioned some of these earlier on in her presentation. So chronic tiredness and sleepiness, headaches, dizziness, sore or aching muscles, muscle weakness, slow reflexes and responses, impaired decision making and judgment, moodiness and irritability, so that real fogginess in the day, impaired hand-eye coordination, appetite loss, reduced immune system function, blurry vision, short-term memory problems, poor concentration, hallucinations sometimes, reduced ability to pay attention to the situation at hand, so you get lost, you can't follow the sequence of conversations and things, low motivation. So what can we do to reduce this? We know that there is no quick fix. So it takes time to find out what works for you, and what works for one doesn't necessarily work for somebody else. So it really is quite an individual thing. So looking at what we do and how we do it, so it can really help to find patterns in your day-to-day activity. So keeping a diary is a really useful way to look at some of those patterns. And sometimes it's not until you start writing those things down that you notice, oh, I've done that for 3 days on the trot, and actually that's having a bit of an impact. So pacing is key to maximising your energy to allow you to participate in daily activities. And for some, that can be pacing simply to get themselves dressed in the morning. For others, it allows them to get dressed, go to work, and do other day-to-day activities. So pacing is not about doing less activity. It's about spreading the activity that you need to do on a day-to-day basis over the course of the day or even the course of the week, making sure that you're resting in between those tasks that you're doing. So a few tips. So planning ahead, keeping a diary, making sure that you're spreading some of those activities out. Prioritising. Does the task need to be done? Or could you get somebody else to do that task? So allowing for rest or preparing so that you know that you're rested well before you go and do a set of activities. Spreading the activities throughout the day or the week, but think about the activity. Could you make any changes to how you do it? Look at how other people do certain tasks. Do they sit down perhaps to do a task that you maybe have previously stood up for? So that really makes a difference if you can start to analyse those day-to-day activities and see what you're doing. And be flexible with your plan. So something that you maybe had planned in and maybe have had it planned for a long time might need to change slightly. And I think it's just settling into that and understanding that we do have to make changes sometimes. So boom or bust. So this is something that's often experienced by patients. So when you're having a good day, you get on, you do all the jobs that you've had written down for ages maybe that you haven't been able to do. And then the knock-on effect the following day or the following few days can be quite substantial. So then it takes a few days to settle down and get back to normal. And then you think, oh, I've had another good day. So we do those activities. And in between that, you start to lessen how much work or activity you can do, but actually the rest periods tend to get longer. So lots of people have experienced this. I'm sure there are a number of you that have also. So it's about spreading those things out, trying to even out those peaks as much as we possibly can. So a few ideas just to get you started. So thinking about in the kitchen, sitting down for activities that you're able to. So if you're preparing the vegetables, maybe sitting down on a perching stool or a at the kitchen table to do those tasks. Breaking tasks into small manageable chunks. Preparing for a roast dinner, maybe not preparing all those vegetables at once, breaking it into smaller tasks. And using gadgets to help reduce some of the energy that you need to do those tasks. And a few more, so washing and dressing. So sitting down to complete as much of the task as you possibly can. Spreading the tasks over a time with rest in between. So it might mean that you have to have a wash, so a bath or a shower, or a wash at the sink, but then you need to sit down and have a more restful activity in between. Maybe sit and eat your breakfast or have a cup of tea and watch the news or something in the mornings. And then go back to getting dressed. And the same with lots of those other tasks that require us to get dressed and ready for our day. And it might be the time of day that you need to vary those activities for as well. So maybe getting up and having a shower in the morning is actually too energy consuming before you start your day, but actually it helps with your bedtime routine to maybe do that at night time. Using a towel and dressing gown to keep you nice and warm and to reduce the energy required to dry yourself as well. So remember, it's not what you do, but the way that you do it that really does make a difference.